Neat. All right, let's see what we're working with here. So it's black now. You know, I don't really envy the position that the folks at Cardo find themselves in nowadays. They basically made a mousetrap. Their PackTalk Edge has been the flagship Cardo for a long time now, and it also has been the best communicator on the market with its DMC mesh connection, its quick disconnect, and its fast charging. This thing's an awesome communicator, and that's why I like to work with Cardo. Not because they sponsor the channel, but because they make a very good piece of kit. But unfortunately for them, if you're going to try to improve this, you really gotta throw some unique ideas at a communicator. And that's what they're claiming the PackTalk Pro is right here. On the outside, this thing really does just look like a blacked out PackTalk Edge. So is there something in here that makes this truly unique and actually worth your money? Or should you stick with the old generation? That's what we're gonna try to find out today, and thanks to Cardo for sending out this PackTalk Pro for me to check out. I've actually been using it for like a solid 2 weeks now. I've really been trying to get in and understand what makes this thing different, and really there are 3 main features, so let's dive on in. The new PackTalk Pro has a raft of improvements built in, but the 3 that I want to focus on are their new 45mm speakers, the auto on-off feature, and their headline grabbing crash detection. We'll start out with the speakers because that's the biggest complaint I get about helmet communicators, that the speakers are just too quiet for people to hear over their bike and the wind noise. To help remedy that, Cardo has slapped a set of 45mm drivers in the box versus their older 40mm ones. Now the reason why you'd increase the size of the drivers is obviously for more volume, but also for higher quality audio at higher volume. If you take a 40mm driver and push it to the max, theoretically, the 45mm drivers should sound better. Fortunately, that is super easy to test. All we need to do is pop all of these drivers in the helmet with a dB meter, blast some royalty-free death metal, and then see which one sounds best. Once I get a 9-volt that works. Be right back. There we go. I didn't just choose metal because I like the sound of crunchy guitars and dudes in eyeliner blowing out their vocal cords. Metal is a super dynamic genre, and if your speakers are ass, they're gonna fall apart when you start to push the volume. We'll start out with the 40mm speakers from Cardo. Then we'll use a set of Volec drop-in speakers, which you'll find on the shelf of just about any cycle gear. And lastly, the new 45mm JBL speakers. I used the exact same track at the exact same place with the exact same volume, 1 notch below the warning level for volume on the phone, and this is what they sound like back to back. Alright, so I just got way nerdier than I needed to because I could. And I taught myself how to read a spectrogram right there. So what I did was I ran all of those audio tracks back to back to back to back. And I put them in Audacity where I could pull up a spectrogram. And there's some interesting stuff that I was able to find here. So the 40mm JBLs, they have the most broad range of content throughout the frequency range. The Volecs, they had a little bit more mid-focus, and then the JBL 45s, they were low mid focused with another peak kinda in the high mids, a little bit more like a suspension curve graph. Now, my understanding of mixing sound is pretty limited, but what I do know is that mid frequencies tend to cut through a mix a lot better. So if we have a lot of noise content around us, then we want mid frequencies. So let's go test that out on the road and see if that mid focus allows us to actually hear music better on the road.
Alrighty folks, I have some very non-royalty free death metal going now. Black Bear by Whitechapel, very, very down-tuned, but also very dynamic. And I'm hearing it through the Volix speakers right now because I wanted to try these back to back because I thought these, of the three on the spectrogram, had kind of the most balanced profile. And I can make out the words, I can make out the guitar work, I can hear the dynamism that's going on, and as I pick up the pace and I get wind blowing over my helmet, I don't really feel a need to drive the volume up. Right now I have it at one tick below the warning level on the phone, but I don't love driving these speakers super, super, super hard. That being said, when I do drive them, they sound all right. Now let's pull over and swap over to the Cardo 45mm drivers.
This part's kind of a pain in the ass. I hope you guys appreciate this.
Wow, okay. I was waiting for the kick from Black Bear. If you've listened to it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Where it goes from clean to distorted and there's that driving line. These speakers are actually surprisingly dynamic. For not having a ton of high frequency content, we're actually helping because that can be overpowering when it comes to some like guitar work, metal, a lot of pop with high frequency stuff in it. You don't want to hear really, really tinny speakers. I will say they do feel just a hair quieter. Just a hair. It's not much, but I feel like I need to bump the notch just a wee tad. One thing I am noticing though, these are thinner. Despite being bigger drivers, they are thinner than the Volix ones, which makes them more comfortable. So that's a nice touch. I could ride with these all day, whereas the Volix were giving me some wicked pressure points.
But getting a louder set of speakers and higher audio quality is something you could do by just adding 45s to your PackTalk Edge. So is there another feature in there that really makes this interesting? The second one I'd like to shout out is the auto on-off feature, something that was actually kind of annoying me when I was doing the audio test because the thing just shut itself off. This one is exactly what it sounds like on the tin. If your Cardo is on and it sits still for over a minute, it goes to sleep. If you pick it up, it wakes up. It happens faster than you can put your helmet on too, which means that by the time you've got it cinched up, your PackTalk Pro is ready to rock and roll. If you're not paying attention, this is a feature you might not even notice. You just think that your Cardo's battery has a lot longer service life. Now, I joked about this feature being kind of annoying when I was doing my tests because my helmet was sitting still on the desk. In reality, this thing's actually super, super handy because how many times have you gotten off your bike, you took your helmet off, and you just set it there on the motorcycle, and then you came back a few minutes later and you're like, oh, dang it, I forgot to turn off my Cardo. Or maybe you went in to get lunch with your helmet on your handlebars, completely forgot to turn off your Cardo, you came back out and you found it dead. This right here is an actual quality of life upgrade that is worth picking this thing up for. However, there is one more feature that is really the headline feature of this unit that we have to talk about next. The third feature that sets the Communicator apart from the rest of Cardo's line, and to my knowledge, every other comm system currently available, is its crash detection. Cardo spent a lot of time tuning and tweaking their detection algorithm, including crashing bikes into cars to get real-world data. The way it works is that you give the app all the permissions it needs, you select an emergency contact, and then it runs you through a full crash simulation. Once a crash is detected, it starts a timer. You've got 30 seconds to confirm your okayness by tapping
tapping the cancel button or pressing a button on the unit. You can even say ignore to cancel the notification because it's got those voice commands. If it doesn't receive a cancel command, it fires off a notification to your emergency contact with a Google Maps pin that includes the latitude and longitude so they can notify emergency services and get them out to you.
I think the idea of having crash detection built into your communicator is pretty brilliant, honestly. It's just one of those additional layers of safety, a lot like this impact vest that I'm wearing, my Alpinestars Tech Air Off-Road, which if you're interested in checking this thing out, link is down in the description below as well. It's just something else that's looking out for you and keeping you safe. Because what happens if, you know, I go down in this corner? This road is relatively frequently traveled, and I do have my ID in my pocket, but my phone is locked. So, you know, my phone screen turns off, I go down, it takes 5 minutes for somebody to come here, and I'm out cold. This thing responds within 30 seconds. That can actually be the difference between, you know, making it and not. Now, there are a couple of caveats that I do need to mention here. First, you do need an internet connection on your phone, otherwise it does not work. So this is definitely something that's designed more at the commuter who's riding a lot more in the city, or they're in a spot where they know they have cell reception. It makes sense. It's a bit of a bummer, but again, it makes sense. If your phone can't make a call, the Cardo can't make a call. Second thing, this is designed for on-road use. They specifically call this out where it's not designed for off-road use, and you might, if you're using it, you might accidentally trigger a couple of accidental butt dials. Or emergency butt dials, shall we say. Whereas when you're out on the street, it's super predictable, and the algorithms, a lot like my impact vest, are constantly reading what's going on. There's 3 sensors here. That's the phone, it's the Cardo, it's GPS. But they're all of these sensors are looking out to make sure that I'm safe.
But let's get down to brass tacks here. This guy right here costs you $359 for the PackTalk Edge. The Pro tips the scales at $459, which begs the question, is the Pro worth $100 more than the Edge? Personally, for just the crash detection alone, I think that this is worth every penny. I also love the auto on-off feature because I am very, very bad about turning my Cardos off when I leave my bike. I just like set it on the shelf, come back tomorrow, forget to charge it, and it's dead. It'd be really nice if this thing just turned itself off, and it does. The 45mm speakers that come with the PackTalk Pro are a very nice upgrade. However, I think they're more of icing on the cake versus some big take-home feature. I know the folks at Cardo are gonna hear that and they're gonna be like, oh, but they're so great. Yes, they are. However, there's a bunch of other drop-in options that some people would prefer. And that's where I'd like to give you guys an idea that I had while I was riding around at Get On ADV Fest with this thing on my helmet. One second. This was the helmet I was riding around in. It's my Bell MX-9 MIPS. This thing just had my KTM Cardo sitting on it all the time because, you know, I ride a KTM, I need to have orange, so matchy-matchy. I did not have time to put the new 45mm speakers in here, so what I did was I just pulled that off and slapped that guy on there. Admittedly, I lost my matchy-matchy, but now my helmet's all one nice black setup. The beauty of the Edge and the Pro using the exact same chassis and the exact same mount means that you can just slap this thing on any helmet that was already Edge equipped. Which means you could probably sell just the Pro head unit to somebody who's got an Edge at a discount. Just have them slap it on there and get all of the features that they would really, really want. And then, you know, you could sell the 45mm speakers with the second helmet kit. Coming in the box with the 45mm speakers, with the crash detection, with the auto on-off feature, and a 3-year warranty, I think the PackTalk Pro is well worth the price of admission. However, I do think there is a market for selling Just the Pro here in a smaller box for a smaller price. Just something to think about. Let me know your thoughts down below. Would you buy just the Cardo PackTalk Pro head unit thing here, or do you like the whole box with the new speakers and all the new hardware because you replace it all on your old helmet? Who knows? Maybe I can pitch that to Cardo and we'll see just the head unit being sold in stores in, a couple of months or something. And of course, if you are interested in checking out the PackTalk Pro, the link is down in the description below where you can pick yourself up one. That is an affiliate link, so you will be helping out the channel by doing so. And a huge, huge shout out to the folks at Cardo for sending me this PackTalk Pro to review. And I'm definitely going to be using this on all of my helmets over my Edge. So, if you're out there looking for a nice orange Edge to go with your nice orange motorcycle, let me know. Maybe one of these will be on the market soon. Catch you guys in the next one. See you later.